Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday Art. You are in the art room with Miss Hope. I'm happy to be here with you guys, and I hope that everyone's having a great week. So, we're getting ready for next week is Halloween, and I know that not everybody celebrates Halloween, but the project that we're going to be working on today is actually going to be something where we're going to be drawing a picture of ourselves, and I'm going to explain what you can do with that picture. It's called a self portrait. I'm sure you guys have all done at least one of those before in your life. And we're going to be drawing a picture of ourselves, and we're going to actually be cutting it all up and rearranging it like it's a puzzle. Like your face is going to turn into a big puzzle. And the reason why we're doing it is because we're going to be talking about an artist named Pablo Picasso. His birthday is actually on Sunday, the 25th of October. He's not alive anymore, but he's one of the most famous artists that have ever lived. And I'm sure at some point you are going to hear more about him. You're going to hear about him today a little bit. He grew up in Spain, and then he lived a lot of his life in Paris, in France. He also did a lot of work in New York, and he traveled around the United States and in other countries as well. He's very, very famous. He's very well known. And he's known for a couple different reasons. One of the reasons is because he invented the style of art we call collage. Okay, we've done this before in art. It's where you take something from somewhere else and cut it up, and then you add it to a new piece of you use it to create a new piece of artwork with it. We've been doing collage so far this past the past few weeks. We've been working with some collage elements, and we're going to be doing that a little bit again today. It's basically anything that you cut up and rearrange to form a new creation or a new image is collage. Okay, and he also invented a style of art called cubism, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. That's kind of what we're basing our project off of today. Cubism is basically it's taking something and breaking it up into squares or cubes, right? So it's either a two-dimensional or a three-dimensional style. Two-dimensional would be a square, three-dimensional would be a cube because it looks like it's coming off the page. We've done cubes before. And he figured out a way to to paint in a style that looks like the let's say it's a face, that it's looking at you from all different angles and dimensions. It's really, really cool. And he did that, he achieved that by using different shades of color and different angles of how he would position things. And we're just going to just very, very briefly and very in a very simple way today, we're going to begin that process of creating a cubist style picture of yourself. Okay? So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a couple white sheets of paper, some for practice and then for your final, your final picture. You're going to need a piece of construction paper, any color that you like. That's going to be your background where you're going to glue your pieces onto, so that you're not going to draw on the construction paper. That's going to be your base where you're going to glue. You're going to need scissor. You're going to need markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you like to color or draw with, and glue or glue stick, and maybe a pencil so that you can draw, and an eraser if you need to touch anything up or fix anything. And that's pretty much it. Now, that's one way we're going to do our project. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, so you need to watch the video to understand. You may want to do this a different way though, and I'm going to explain that way to you as well. That way, the second way, involves cutting out pictures from magazines. So you would need to have pictures of faces that are kind of big. You're going to need different eyes, different noses, different lips, different ears maybe. So you're going to need three or four, I would say, different pictures from magazines that you're allowed to pull out or cut up with permission. And I'll show you that way to do it. So you're going to get an option to do it two different ways. And actually, there's a third way you can do it. You can take a picture that you draw and a picture that you cut up, and you can combine that also. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to dig in here and have a little bit of Picasso pieces fun today. So get ready. Here we go. All right, overhead camera right now. All right, so I've already gone ahead and drawn a picture. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this whole thing. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry. And that's not what I meant to do either. Okay, here we go. Okay, finally. Miss Hope and technology are not always friends. Okay. I went ahead and I drew my picture already just to save some time. And yes, I made myself green, and no, I'm not really green. But if you look, let's see here, let's do a side by side. Kind of looks like me a little bit if I were green. All right, so here's my picture, and I've already drawn it. So you guys are gonna, basically, if you're gonna do it this style, you're gonna draw a picture of yourself, and you want to take up about 95% of your paper. So that means I've only got a little bit of white showing at the top, but most of my paper is taken up by my drawing. If you draw super, super small, you're not going to be able to do this project the right way. So you need to make this really big. Some of us like to draw really small right in the middle of our paper. I'm asking you to go really, really big, okay? So it's got to look like this. It's got to take up about 95% of your paper. Okay, so the first way I'm going to show you how to do this project is I have my construction paper right here, and I am going to take my picture, and yes, I'm going to cut it into pieces, square-ish pieces. So you may not want to do the best drawing of your whole entire life for this project because you are going to cut it up, but it's going to be fun. I promise it's worth it to experiment. You can always take a picture of it with your phone or with someone's phone in your house if you don't want to forget. I'm going to cut some of this white paper off because I don't want all that white. That's what I did. I took a picture of this before I cut it. And I'm cutting it into very jagged, very angular, square-ish pieces. Okay, so then I'm going to be left with, there's the nose, here are the lips. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so now we've got, see, all these pieces are all over the place, right? Your face no longer looks like a face. And that's what we want. We want to have this very fragmented, think of in a mirror, you know what a mirror is, obviously. You look in a mirror to see what you look like. Think of if it broke, if it dropped on the ground and it broke into hundreds of pieces. There are little fragments of that mirror, okay? So this is kind of what we're going for here. We're doing a fragmented picture of yourself. I'm going to cut some of this white off like that. Okay. And the whole goal here is to move these pieces around so they don't look exactly like a face anymore, but they kind of do, because you're going to see things like eyes and noses and mouths. I don't want to get rid of all this white, just a little bit of it. Just the extra. Okay, so I'm going to put an eye over here. Now, you're not gluing anything down yet. You're checking it out and you're deciding if you like the way it looks. Part of art is planning. Part of it is being spontaneous sometimes. But right now, we're in the planning part. So we're trying to figure out if we like the way it looks. And I am sort of keeping eyes in the position where eyes normally go, but I'm just mixing it up a little bit. And you may not use all your pieces either, and that's okay. I put my nose upside down. Here's an ear over here. I'm going to cut some of this extra stuff off. The whole point of this is just to kind of be silly, have some fun. Some pieces can go back where they were supposed to go, but not all. Cut off some extra. Remember, don't glue anything down until you really like how it is. I kind of like this. It's silly looking for sure. Let me see if I rearrange my eye this way. Do I like it better? Oh, yes. I think I like it better upside down. So I'm going to, so this is what I would glue. And see, as you can see, I don't have all my pieces used. I have a couple extra pieces left over. So now what you would go and do is, if you like the way it came out, you would go ahead and glue this down now. Yeah, I like this better. My ear upside down. It matches this ear upside down. This is very silly looking. And that's what we're going for here. We're playing and we're having some fun and we're just being a little bit silly, but we're also learning at the same time. Okay? Art doesn't have to be super serious. But I really like the way this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. One piece at a time, because I want to remember where these pieces go. I don't want to change the order now. So if you've got a glue stick or clear or white glue that you can go ahead and work with, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to get ready to do the second way. Now you can do all of these different styles if you want to. We're going to do a couple different projects here. And you can do as many as you like. You can see if you have someone who wants to sit with you and do this with you. They can do it too. Or maybe they'll let you draw them, a picture of them. That's just called a regular portrait. Self-portrait is when you do it of yourself. Last week we did this silly making faces with random objects, remember? And this week, you're drawing, you're using your fine motor skills and your skills of observation. Now, if you want to look in the mirror when you're doing this, to look at yourself, go ahead and do that. Or if you've got a little handheld mirror, that's a great thing to have as an art tool for lots of different reasons. So if you've got that, go ahead. Or you want to take your paper into a bathroom or a living room or somewhere where you have a mirror that you can look at yourself. You can change the color of your hair or your skin if you want to, or your lips or whatever. You can make your eyes a different color. You can make them two different colors. You can do this however you'd like. Okay, so I've glued this down and I'm going to sign my work of art. And there we have it. We've got our new finished I kind of look like it kind of reminds me of a gorilla face or an alien face or something. It's kind of really silly. So that was fun to do. So now I'm going to put this over to the side and I'm going to show you the next way to do this. So I've already got these pieces split up. I've got another piece of construction paper and I have different pictures of models or whatever I found in the magazine. And this time what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using different parts of the face to create a new face. So this is more of a collage. Well, the other one was a collage as well, but this is a different kind of collage. So we're going to be using magazine pictures. And again, I'm cutting up into very angular, square-ish pieces. And I'm going to just, sorry Jennifer Aniston, I'm going to cut your face. I'm going to take the parts that I want to use. I'm not really concerned about hair. I just want really eyes, noses, mouths, ears, things like that. Different sizes are good because it gives it variety and change. It's okay that she's got a little hair in her eyes right there. That's fine. I know this is kind of silly and creepy, but we're having fun. I just want you to enjoy what you're doing and learn at the same time. Okay, now I've got lots of things to look at. So I'm going to start by placing some of the face parts onto my paper. Now this one, for this, what you could do, since you're using different pieces from different faces, you could actually put a face together, even though, oh, that's the same person, we don't want to use that. Even though you might want to put like your nose, your mouth, your eyes, and ears all in the place where they're supposed to go on a face, you can use different parts from different people, and so you're making a totally new face. I'm going to switch that around. I can use extra eyes if I want to. Maybe she's got 3 eyes. Different directions. And now what I could also do with this, if I want to, is I could make, like, draw a face shape around if I wanted to do that. And I could use coloring materials. You can do this on white paper if you want to. And you can add things like for hair if you wanted to do that. You know, like random pieces of paper or scrap or something. I've got like tissue paper I can cut up and use that for hair if I wanted to do that, which I may do. Got some tissue paper I'm going to use. Or string if you wanted to do that, or feathers. You can do that too. I'm just seeing if I like this idea or not. I may not. I may change it. I may leave it. Not sure. That's a good thing about art. And before you paste anything down, you get to figure out if you like something, if you want it to be there, or if you want to change it. I'm not liking this very much, so I'm going to take it off. And maybe I'm going to just do something else. I may just leave it like this. Here's another piece of her face. This. Another thing that you can do is you can do a combination. So you can do a drawing, and you can, like another self-portrait if you wanted to, and you can also take magazine pictures like eyes, noses, ears, mouths, and things like that, and you could, I'll show you. I'm going to keep this as like head shape, since it's kind of already a head shape. And so I'm just going to draw an eye right here. And what I'm going to do is, let me use my white marker. I'm just going to add some white detail here to the eye. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing you. And I'm going to do for hair. Just going to give her some curly hair. All right. Here's her neck. So now what I did was I started a base drawing, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add new features to this picture. So now you can do a combination of a drawing and collage. Which mouth do we want to use? This one or this one? That's the same one that goes with that nose. Or maybe this one. Something like that. Okay? So you can do that as well. You can just have fun with this, and you don't have to commit to doing anything. Like, you don't have to glue anything down until you are totally satisfied and happy with the way you're doing it. You can keep changing things around. Like I said, you can work with somebody. If you have a brother or sister, especially someone who goes to this school, you guys can trade parts or trade pictures if you wanted to, and work on each other's or work next to each other and share ideas. That's called collaboration, and that's a great thing to do in art. A lot of artists work with other artists to collaborate and help each other. Sometimes you get stuck and you don't know what to do, so someone gives you an opinion or helps you, or tells you, you know, something that's inspiring that makes you have an idea. That's called collaboration. That's a great thing to do in art, okay? So I want you to keep working on it. You have a whole week to do it. It's not due until next Friday, October 31st on Halloween. And so you have the whole week to work on it, and the weekend. Have some fun with it. It's it's supposed to be fun and silly, so don't worry too much if it doesn't come out perfectly the way you wanted it to, because it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be silly and fun, okay? I want you guys to have a good time with it. Send me your pictures when you're done. Have a great week. Enjoy playing around with Picasso pieces, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. Have a great week, guys. See you later.